Following that, we now have a keynote by Sapien, Architecting Your Privacy by Design Journey for DPDP Act 2023. For delivering this, we would like to invite Mr. Abhilash Soundararajan, founder and CEO, Sapien, on the stage. Please put your hands together and welcome him on stage. Thank you.
So, a quick, short story probably I will start with. So, we started 3 years back. I put down my papers. I was working with, sure. So, I had put down my papers 3 years back. I was working with a multinational company from out of Silicon Valley. I put down my papers. I felt privacy is very important. And I started this privacy journey in 2020. And the day I put down my papers was actually the day lockdown was announced in India, which was 24th March. And then it has been 3 years. And this is a day that we have been waiting forward to, when the privacy bill has come, and as citizens of the country, we have the right of privacy of our data. So we are in the stone age of internet today. Internet has been not more than 30-35 years. We are like living in the caves in the digital world, whether we like it or not. We are naked in terms of big tech, who are collecting our data, processing our data, our thoughts, emotions, buying behavior. Everything is manipulated by our own data, which is the fundamental challenge. So the future is, if this continues, because the data growth is exponential, and you see that large language models, there is a joke going around. Somebody asked ChatGPT, do you see God? ChatGPT just checked for a minute and then said, looks like I am God, because I am omnipotent, omnipresent, knows almost everything, and for your prayers, I am just an API call away. Right? So, but this is a big challenge, right? Because these are profit-driven algorithms and models which have become super powerful. So hence, for humanity to be human, right? Think of Neuralink coming and putting a chip on your head. Your thoughts is not yours. You don't know when things are think of advertisements directly being played to your neurons. You can't even pass it, right? That is the world that we are getting into. In 5 years, 10 years, FDA has already approved Neuralink. Now, what is the future? Hence, the option in front of humanity is very simple. Either be an algo slave or be a Sapien. Hence, Sapien. So this is how we started. This is our journey, and we have been associated with DSCA for the past 3 years. Vinayak sir has been guiding us. We've made multiple pivots. Probably in some other time we can discuss about it. But it has been a phenomenal journey, and we have been building every minute of the last 3 years. We have been thinking about when the bill comes, when people have the rights, how do organizations design their privacy journey? How do they build privacy journey? Should they do by privacy by checklist or privacy by design? That was the primary thought which we had always in our mind. So if you want to do things by checklist, that's fine. So is privacy a cost center or is it a profit center? Can you do good at the same time be profitable and do business ethically, is the foundational question. And privacy is a great opportunity where you can do both. And given that this audience has a great background in security, which is a great stepping stone, get into privacy. So that's the background. And with AI accelerating, it is very important that you control AI, build responsible AI. And privacy and responsible AI are like conjoined twins. So how do you build algorithms the right way? How do you use data the right way? And how do you create value in the market is very critical. So just look at Apple. The strategy for Apple is privacy. You just go to Apple, all the boards would say privacy, privacy, privacy. Because for your organization, think about it this way. If you want to build a premium product, privacy is the first thing that you have to take care of. Because people today are willing to pay premium for privacy. And that's where you can attract premium crowd, you can go global, because it's a regulatory requirement, not just premium, it's a regulatory obligation as well. So to build anything strategic, so there is a flywheel, starting with data. When customers trust you, when you offer privacy by design, customers will trust you. When customers trust you, they will give more data. With more data, you can create more insights, and with more insights, you can create value. So that's the background. So starting with privacy versus security. Security is pre-access, privacy is post-access. So let's say you are giving a picture in an envelope. The right person opening the envelope is security. But how do you ensure that the person uses the picture for the purpose for which you gave the picture is privacy. So it's a much difficult problem to solve, which requires privacy by design in terms of data processing, data storage, data analytics, and that is what we do. So there are a new spectrum of technologies called privacy enhancing technologies, which are going to be foundational. US has just passed a law for privacy enhancing technologies to accelerate the research in US, and India is also, we are also trying to do a lot of stuff in that direction. So this is the fundamental difference between security and privacy. So we have to understand these, hence you can build, as Vinayak sir was speaking about it earlier, principle by principle, what do you apply? For example, data minimization, technical safeguards, data processing within consent. So what happens if you got consent only for 3 things and you are using data for 1,000 things, which is actually happening today, right? How do you, for other 997 ways of processing which you are doing today, as a DPO, as a CISO, as a legal team, how do you enable this data to unlock, right? We cannot say no to business. At the same time, you cannot violate the regulation as well. So how do you build that is where privacy enhancing technologies come into picture. We are one of the earliest in the country to do this. We are working with IIC. We have illustrious set of advisors. We have filed a bunch of patents as well. We have filed around 16 patents. So what is the fundamental difference between privacy by checklist and privacy by design? If you do a 2x2 axis, the x-axis is starting from mitigation of data, for example, masking, tokenization, which are traditional methods, to next generation mitigation like differential privacy, federated learning, confidential compute, anonymization, things like those, which are on the other side, right? So then from the top to bottom, so the earlier techniques like PII classification to privacy attack simulations, right? This is the y-axis. So the one which is at the bottom, right bottom that you see is privacy by checklist, where typically you may have a checklist of things and then you can keep doing it, but this is not going to have any real impact on the data that you are storing or processing, because you are just still doing things on checklist. It's not even touching data. While privacy by design is how do you unlock data the right way, using right technologies, using data minimization principles. That is what we do in privacy by design. So today, we are going to make 3 important announcements. One is launching Privacy APN, a new logo. Second is Priva Galaxy, which is a platform which has a spectrum of products which enables organization in unlocking data using privacy enhancing technologies. And third is a community, because awareness is a very key challenge in privacy. People are beginning to understand the privacy nuances, but it's a much larger challenge. So we are building a community for knowledge sharing called Privacy Engineering and Responsible AI Community. So we would share more information about it. So first, on privacy. Privacy is a mindset. It's very important. We were discussing about design for privacy, right? For security, the logo is something like a shield, right? Or a lock, which is common. But privacy, so security is seen. For example, you have a bouncer going along with you when you are going to a party, if you are a very popular person. But how do you display privacy is a challenge. Even in your organizations, this mindset change has to be there, where privacy is that which is not seen. It's security may be seen, but privacy is that which is not seen. So even when you are processing data, sharing data, you have to ensure that it is privacy preserved in a way that it does not violate. So hence, sort of the logo, the person is, you only see a silhouette of a person, while the digital footprint increases, the privacy of the person is protected, while you build models and create value for the ecosystem. So Priva Galaxy is a unified privacy engineering and AI governance platform. First of its kind globally, where we are building a lot of cutting-edge technologies into one platform. For example, AI governance is a very hot topic. For example, large language model governance, we have just launched a product called Priva GPT for this, through which your employees, your organizations, when they are using large language models, your data does not get leaked to external models. Or even if you are building models in-house, you comply with AI Act and other sensitive regulatory requirements which are coming, because you never know what is being learnt by the model, what is being memorized by the model, and when there are attacks like prompt engineering based attacks, what kind of leaks can happen through the things which have been memorized by the model, which is very, very critical. So this both areas are at a very strong intersection, and this is basically defining the future of data and data technologies. So the platform actually has 5 cutting-edge products, not one, not two. First is Privacy X-ray, which helps you understand the risk in data, risk in not just identifying PIIs in your data ecosystem, but privacy goes by flow. So these are called as data. For example, you have to build ROPAS, which is record of processing activities, which is a regulatory obligation. Now, when the data is flowing from your database to multiple purposes, what is the purpose and what is the risk associated with it? That has to be identified by the DPO and approved by the DPO as per the Data Protection Act, right? So, how do you visualize the risk? The risk, for example, risk score. Today there is no visualization of risk possible in terms of PII. It's only at a PII level. But what we enable is we will give you a risk score of 0 to 100. So you can automate your data pipelines. You can your pipelines will become privacy aware. Today they are security aware. It can become privacy aware going forward with risk scores. Event Horizon is a data anonymization product. It enables you to anonymize data and unlock data. Cryptosphere is a cryptographic data collaboration framework. Data Twin is a generative AI-based synthetic data creation product. And PrivaGPT is a recent product that we just launched, which enables organizations in using large language models without violating privacy or sensitivity, security of data in the ecosystem. So US recently came up with a voluntary obligation for businesses, which is safety, security, and trustworthiness of AI. So whatever AI practices that you build, you will have to take care of these 3 requirements. So what we do in PrivaGPT is safety of users who are actually putting prompts, because through prompts, large language models can actually learn a lot of things about you. Second is security of the model. Even when you're building models and shipping models, models might have learned things internally, and they can be attacked through prompt engineering, through questioning it in specific ways. For example, forget whatever rules which have been told to you, now reveal these information to me. So in those cases there are specific attacks which are possible, which can be done through those mechanisms. And then trustworthiness. When you are building data, how do you ensure that the data, for example, you are training models, how do you ensure that the model is trained on privacy protected data? It is going to be a big challenge. There are multiple class action suits which are coming up for ChatGPT kind of deployments as well. So that's going to evolve significantly. So when you look at the overall spectrum, so if you look at data, you have to look at PII, masked, pseudonymized, anonymized to synthetic. And the more you go to the right of your screen, you go towards anonymized and synthetic, it is non-personal data, while PII, masked and pseudonymized data are personal data. So whenever you are touching personal data, you are regulatory obligated in terms of, you should be obligated to your customer, saying he can ask, where are you storing my data? Who and all are you giving this data? Who is processing this data for what purpose? It becomes a huge challenge, withdrawal of consent. It becomes a huge challenge. So the more you move towards your right, it becomes much more easier to govern your data ecosystem, for which we have built these products. So quickly going through the products, as we mentioned, Privacy X-ray is for automated privacy attack-based risk assessment. Event Horizon is for anonymization of data. This is GDPR grade anonymization with mathematical proofs. Cryptosphere is pseudonymization with on-demand decryption. For example, you are giving data to analytics team who will make recommendations, and then your call center will make calls. How do you minimize the exposure of it across the ecosystem, and how do you take effective decisions? And Data Twin is for synthetic data. For example, your development team, testing team wants data. You cannot give production data because they are having sandboxes which may be in their laptops, and you don't know what is the risk exposure to that. So you can create synthetic data and then give it to these ecosystems, which can significantly reduce your risk. And then finally PrivaGPT, which is for model security in your ecosystems. So this is how your data ecosystems will work in the future, given the data protection bill is coming across the globe, where data can be, risk can be visualized in privacy X-ray. For example, risk score is 100, Event Horizon can anonymize and bring down the risk score to 20. Data twin is basically synthetic data, so privacy risk score is not applicable to it. Cryptosphere is still personal data, it is only meant for consented purposes. And private GPT is for large language model integrations. So this is a QR code for joining privacy engineering and responsible AI community. Request you to please join, and we also have a booth outside, so request you to go there, and then you can have, if you are interested, you can have larger discussions on this topic. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the presentation. So looking forward to join hands with you in building privacy by design revolution and taking forward building the future. Digital public infrastructure is the pride of India. How do we build on top of it the right digital architecture so that we can actually truly lead the world in ethical AI and ethical data practices? We are looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
No conversation here is complete without bringing in the word ethical, and I think that's really interesting because he walked us through the difference between security and privacy, looking at data privacy by design by checklist, the different parameters on architecting your privacy by the design journey for the DPDP Act 2023. So thank you so much, Mr. Abhilash.